The government of Ethiopia has lifted restrictions placed on families of victims from Kenya and allowed them to visit the site of Flight ET-302 crash. The families have been allowed to collect soil samples from the site. The Ethiopian authorities had limited family members' access, only allowing them to view the scene from a few meters away. NTV's Charity Mwangi is in Addis Ababa and shares the details.
The families of the victims of the ET-302 plane crash, after a day of meetings yesterday, tolerated the bumpy ride to the site of the crash. They hoped that they could get a closer look, if only to get closure. The family of Agnes Gadumbi, like all the others here, carried a portrait of their mother. Having been here before, they approached the area cautiously. The flowers were laid out, just like before, to help the families create lasting memories of their loss. However, to the delight of the families, this time round, the yellow tape was lowered and they were ushered to the crash site. The area appeared to have been cleared, though evidence of the horrific incident was scattered all over.
I'm sure they'll have a way out so that they are able to help us in getting DNA samples and matching it with whatever DNA samples that they could be having.
Tears flowed freely. Prayers were said, and eventually, one by one, the affected families emerged. They all carried a lump of soil to take back home.
We want to collect the parts of the ashes over here, and we organize with Madam Ambassador whether we can receive them back in Kenya. Then from there, we shall put in coffins, and we are going to transfer them to Uhuru Park, whereby we are going to have a mass burial or interdenominational mass.
They shared suggestions of how best to handle the issue of the identification of the remains. Following their visit to the very spot where the plane went down, the families seem a lot closer to the conclusion of this very devastating period of their lives. They hope that the relevant authorities would expedite the remaining processes in order to allow them to return home and mourn with their families. Charity Mwangi, NTV.